chat. Welcome or welcome back for your message or massages. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. It's giving it a hot minute for the big cats to assemble for this tete-a-tete. Because your boundaries, the rejection that was the protection from your ancestral team, was your protection, darling dear, and it was your redirection. And it's hitting differently in some mud huts. Certain circles you wouldn't frequent. Again, not for all the free lifetime supply of invisible melted lace fronts, darling dears. Not for all of that, no. Don't care how fabulous they are. Not even as if they're fabulous like the ones that Steve Harvey wore. That afro was so lined up. I was like, he had thick hair. Thick hair from China. Hey, hey! Come through, Cat Williams. Posh clap. Yes. The boundaries. Just give it a hot minute to think about how great you are, how far you've come. And you can't be what? Effed with why? Because hello, mother fakers. Here come the coach. Bestie, oi. Can we have a quick chat? Because I've got me mocha. Right? With the blurred lines, darling dears. The blurred lines. Why? Because someone don't know what intonation to do about you, darling dears. They don't know how to heal the situation, but we've said it many times, bestie. We said, come with thine head on a platter. And they must be carrying their own head, separated from their body on said platter. How about that? They want to work with you again. Good God. Can you remember where you was looking like you'd been on what? Robinson Crusoe's island? Or you was like that guy in Willy Wonka's factory that ate too much chocolate. Do you remember those days when you was nervous on the head shelves? Where you blamed everything on yourself because you are a criminal for showing true love. You are a criminal, right, for showing compassion. You are a criminal for showing forgiveness. You are a criminal for helping someone, for building someone a new life, darling dear. You're a criminal in their eyes. They chose a situationship or horde mentality that show they, them and what they lost in you, bestie. Because remember, you must always be the criminal and the outlaw, the outcast, the black sheep, the one that must be mentioned in these mud huts you no longer frequent. You are always on their mind. I'm telling you, they can't eat, they can't sleep, and some of them are eating too much and trying to sleep the day away to avoid what the awakened times when they know that their mind is focused on you. They are having extreme tower moments. It's happening like what? Cheap lace thongs. I told you, riding up on them, darling dear, riding up on them, and they can't quite pick them out, darling dear. You know when you have to use that closed knee walk in public because you can't rearrange your undergarments? Yeah, they're doing that daily. Bestie, oi, you slipped on your spiritual Nikes and did a full-on tinky winky. Ran into many bags, darling dears. But the biggest one was of what? Enlightenment and boundaries and ancestors and self-respect, self-love, self-care, self-worth. You are now serving Easter Island, Stevie Wonder. With what? Love and light. That's two of these and one of those. You've decided that you want to be a rebel and a rogue in your stealth ibex mode, darling dear. prototype of your lineage and showing them how it's done from the big chair, the throne that these eyes are on. Mocha sipped. Let's dive in, bestie. Are you with me? Can I get a cat? Right. Let's press on at a hot trot. Let's get the dice. Let's get some numbers on the tableau first. We have a 1 and a 5, darling dears. The 1 represents what? Evaluate everything. They are watching you. They are watching with their children of the corn eye and mouth breathing to boot. Just like Diddy, darling dears. Mr. Take that. And that's exactly why they're watching, darling dears. Because they would like to come through and take up the piss with you. No, they're not going to take the piss. They're going to want to take the shit in your life, darling dears. They've gone past the piss. They're coming back with full-on effrontery, darling dears. Effrontery! The energy of the 5 is why? Because you are secure, darling dears. You like your situation to be situated at all times. Why? Because you understood what it was like to get it without the Vaseline on a regular basis. You turned your pain into progress. And guess what, bestie? You are about to make a major muscle move over the next. I'm hearing what? 4 days. The number 4. 4 is about manifestation. It's about securing a new foundation, something significant. And fortunately for you, we've got the heads up. Because at this moment in time, darling dears, lean in, bestie. We've got Mercury direct in Sagittarius, so your communication is clear, which is love and light, right? To the ne'er-do-wells that are in what? The dusty pyramids. Yes, the yesteryear ones. Anyhow, you've also got what? Mars in Capricorn. Mars, energy, action, drive, power, individualism. Making what? Initiating new things, right? In Capricorn. Right? Capricorn, the 10th house of your status, darling dears, your reputation. Law number 5 of the 48 laws of power. We have a 5 here, darling dears. You also have what? A new moon, darling dears, on the 11th of January in Capricorn. Listen, baby, you better get your ink and paper out to write down your intentions of what you intend to manifest. In Capricorn, you are going to be focused. Why? Capricorn's what? House ruler is Saturn, darling dears. And all of the planets are afraid of Saturn. You know why? You know why, bestie? Because when Saturn comes into their house, their domicile, darling dears, Saturn stays there for 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. Saturn don't rhyme. Even Pluto will think twice about Saturn, but Pluto is, listen, we've got the Pluto going into Aquarius it's on the 20th of January, darling dears, for the next 19 years. So whatever boundaries you have in place, you better make sure that they're airtight, darling dears. Airtight. So tight that it's like your boundaries are a garden, darling dears. That a squirrel cannot get a nut in without you knowing what's going on. The energy of the 1-5 speaks about this was some kind of a situation. It could have been a business, a romantical, darling dears, maybe even a marriage situation. You possibly even met this person or personages at a social event. The 1 and the 5 goes to a 6, darling dears. They appear to be harmonious. They appear to be friendly. They appear to be so attentive. Why? Because they was noting down your next move, darling dears. They was what? They was reconning on you, blood, before you even know what it is. I know, bestie. I would be clutching my pearls if I had them bitches. Yeah. They're coming back with effrontery, darling dears. Effrontery. They must. Anyway, we're going to let them read because I'm not going to lead it, darling dears. I don't want to lead you down anything. I want you to come to your own conclusion. Why? Because I'm a pointer, bestie, not a picker. The energy of the 6, it speaks about your birthday could be on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th. Or maybe this will be the day they want to drop into your hemisphere again. It could be a significant birthday or a door number. or a significant number in your life, darling dears. Your most fortunate numbers over the next few days will be 3, 6, and 9. The letters of F, O, and X are associated with the number 6. The number 6 is ruled by Venus energy, darling dear. So we have F, O, and X, and U, V, and W. Pencil those in on your almanac, darling dears, and be on the alert. Well, I did tell you, bestie, and I'll be here to tell you that I did tell you. Be on the alert for Luke 22:48, the back front neck tabbers coming back in for the kill. What do you mean they're spinning the block? Which block is that? Where they do that at? Where? Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, bestie. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Right, let's dive in. Let's see what your ancestors think about this. This revisitation of this. It's like a plague, darling. They're like a plague. A plague. They come to bring what? Destabilized foundations, darling. There's cloak and dagger. They will be what? Here for all the enlightenment on what's going on with you. How they can get into your what? Psychological password, darling dears. Oh, they're going to come back. Trust and believe. Nothing like revisiting who is strong, who can actually sit at the same table and eat food and not stab you. The way, what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg, right? Did in The Color Purple. She was restrained by Sugar Avery. Well, you ain't got no Sugar Avery. You was able to restrain yourself, darling dears. You may even have had polite conversation, but you knew exactly what you was dealing with. Why? Because of Phil Collins. He said, "We've seen your face before, my friend." And they don't know you don't know if they know who you are. Well, you know who you are, and that's all that really matters at this moment in time. They come with destabilization, separation, darling dears. And not with the truth roof. Boo! Boo! I know, bestie. Listen, I know. When you came into the read, we was glad to see each other because we don't get to see each other often live. But now, your eyes are becoming slitty and your lips are pursed, darling dear. They're pursed. You can control your behavior, but you can't control your face chakra, darling. There's your face chakra. Watchtower of the autumn, darling dear, on its face. Leaning bestie, water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. In the reverse, darling dears. In the reverse. This is someone who has done no inner work, darling dears. They are the same. They want to be reborn, right? Or make you believe that they are reborn. Yeah. But they haven't changed their own ways. In the autumn, the leaves fall, darling dears. Here, they just what? Buried under what? Mulch. This is somebody coming with a shady character, darling dears. Shady and unbalanced. The stable one. Didn't we just talk about a 4 being stable? Yes, baby. Some kind of security that you have. We had that on the dice with the 5. I said 4. Why did I say 4? Freudian slip. Think, case, think. The 4. Because you are limitless, darling dears. How about that? How about that? You come with the sun in the Uranus energy. How about that? The sudden change, the switcheroo. They didn't think that you'd become systematic. And boundaries would be automatic to you. The energy of the 4 in the astrological aspects is represented by the square. It speaks about what a conflict, darling dears, and frustrations. But it also speaks about what overcoming and being powerful, darling dears. It was a learning curve for you. Your hairline, your edges have still not recovered. They haven't forgiven you, darling dears. They nearly escaped to the back of your crown. Base of the deck. Well, whatever they're dedicated, you ain't dedicated to them no more. Like I said, you can sit at the table with them without bringing out a blade. Right. Oh, forgot to tell you, the energy of the 6, darling dears, in tarot is represented by what? The Gemini energies, the lovers, darling dears. You may have been in a entanglement with them, darling dears. It could have been a friendship, could be a family member, but there is some kind of, they are banking on the fact that they think that you forgot. They think you're still as forgiving as that. Listen, they didn't get the memo. You are forgiven. You want to be peaceful like a nun, darling dear, but your mind is that of a gangster, darling dears. And there is no honor among thieves. This is why you had to what? Eject yourself into what? A new direction, darling dears. No honor amongst thieves. Why? Listen. You've been making right choices. Lover's energy in the upright talks about trust, darling dears. Trusting in the unseen. Lovers is Gemini energy. That is Mercury. Your logic and your thinking, your whole perception of the situation is different. Why? Because if you didn't go through what you went through, darling dears, you wouldn't be where you are right now. And we wouldn't be besties. Yes, baby. I saw it go. I saw it go. Yes, and you are what? Jamaican by proxy. Thought I'd forgotten about the whip, did you? I'd forgotten. I like to just spring things on you. You know how it goes. Keep you on your toes, bestie. Make sure that you're still awake and paying attention. I've got me some new cards, darling dears. Oh, look at this. The elastic band broke. When that breaks, darling dears, you cut everything. You cut off communication. You cut off what? Any thoughts about them. You're blur. You're neutral. You're just even, right? You cut all ties to this person. This looks like an upside down question mark, doesn't it, darling dears? They are proper angry, mate. They are incensed. They are furious. They are big mad. Someone get them a cake. Not you, bestie. Why? We've seen the first 48, darling dears, and we are not fools. They want you to look at them, darling dears. They want you to look at them. Or maybe they've been spending too much time with what? The hillbilly investigations. They've got a headache, or was a headache in your life, darling dears. And it also speaks about what? Mind control. This is someone that liked to keep you up late at night, darling dears. Their stories had stories, and there would be a headache in your life. Who wants a headache at this stage of the game? One that you've already overcome. One who's coming back with what? New tricks, darling dears. New tricks in their bag of tricks, the bottomless bag for anyone who is what? New supply. They want to dust you off. How dare they? Whenever a narc wants to spin the block, darling dears, it's because they believe that you're A1 supply, darling dears, and that you're sitting down waiting on them to come and F you over again. That's what they're waiting for. They want to listen. What's that? Spiritual work said nobody want that headache. Nobody. Do I have another stand? Yes, I do. Yeah. Don't want to give you a headache. They're banking on you being generous, darling. Just remember, you was already criminalized for being too compassionate, giving true love, darling dears. Building them up. Listen, you better stop that shiznai immediately. You build no one but yourself or your progeny. Outside that, listen. Yeah. You are at this stage right now. You're exhausted, darling dears. You've had enough. You've had quite enough of this what? Tomfoolery. You don't want to play ball with them, darling dears. Because of all of the many disappointments. When you really sit down and what? Summarize what they done did. When you was always Dorothy, darling dears, you had the red slippers all along. You was always that cat. You had to realize home wasn't with somebody who downgraded you, who never supported you, who was never a place of peace, darling dears. The only time they was peaceful was when they was investigated, darling dears. If you never had no bones, darling dears, they were disappointed. They listened. They made sure that you had many bones in your closet. You must disappoint them, darling dears, with your dexterity. Nearly couldn't say it, darling dears. Laugh in the face of adversity, right? This person is thirsty. thirsty, missing, wanting to come back, disappointed, right? Whatever they bucked upon, whatever situationship they found themselves in, darling dears, they're tired of it. Listen, imagine if the narc is tired of a situation. Did they meet a bigger narc? Or did they just get the tower moment after the tower moment? And they have not had the tower moment of what? Self-realization. How about that? How about that? Very thirsty, darling dears. If you had a glass of water, darling dears, and they was on fire, what would you do? Yeah, you better get amused. You better laugh at the situation. Because why? Karma's not discriminatory, darling dears. Because they've got something that they would like to tell you, darling dears, but they're thinking about what. Listen, they're getting nearly a brain aneurysm, darling dears, trying to think up what they can actually tell you to make you believe them. They've been through scenario after scenario, but they still have the effrontery to try and approach the throne. Laugh with me, bestie. They are selfish. And we know them for who they are. Hello, motherfucker. Yeah. Hey, hey. All right. Let's press on, darling dears. Let's press on. Let's get a deck and see what's really going on. Or should we go with the let's go with the intuitive cards first. We'll get the... Should we go with the yellow? Or should we go with a whole... We'll go with the whole mix. Very disappointed, darling dears, but you always had the red slippers. You have everything you need inside of you to live a bountiful life. Once you realize whom you are, once you get your birth natal chart, right? I'm not making this up.
Low battery charge.
Yeah. Love yourself first in all situations and circumstances, darling dears. Let me turn it off.
Power off.
Can you still hear me? I hope you can. Right? Oh! They come back with a plan inside of a plan inside of a plan for you, and this person is thirsty, darling dears. They met on like-minded situations, horde mentality, and now they are on the prowl. Or should I just say on the prey, darling dears, right? Because you're... Are we back? It was just buffering. Can you hear me? You see, they don't even want me to get this readout, darling dears. It hasn't buffered for a long time. Can you hear me perfectly well? Good, good. What's this? Drugs and alcohol. They must be smoking dick round there, darling dears. Whatever they're smoking, mate, it's below your spiritual pay grade. It says drugs and alcohol, but I know they've gone one step further. Right? Everything they've got to say, do, or want should be met with a strong, firm no. Why? You have the memory of an elephant. And they've got effrontery. How dare they? They think you're easy pickings, that you've been missing them. They must be disappointed at every turn, darling dears. And how do you do that best? By not answering nothing. Big cat moving, silence. Too busy, right? Focusing on your own green grass of ideas, possibilities, working on you, building the life you truly deserve. Are you kidding me? They should have read the 48 laws of power. Law number 1, never outshine the master cat. How dare they? Look, this is 2 different worlds, darling dears. They're from the world of the wicked. Listen, let's get one more card and then we'll press on with the tarot. Yeah, it came out in the reverse. Emperor. This person should have been a protector or provider in your life. If you're co-parenting with this person, darling dears, you are a single parent. Whether you was married, you are a single parent. This is a narc. This is somebody who's chucking all their toys out. The pram. They're thirsty, darling dears. They're a headache. They exhausted your everything. They got on every single one of your chakras, mate, and reversed them. Yeah. And then still came back to what? Give it to you without the Vaseline, darling dears. This is someone who has no authority over what circumstance or situation they're in, darling dears. This is a what? Hobosexual, an opportunist. H-O-B-O, darling dear. Disappointed with their life, exhausted with what? The choices that they made for themselves. This liar is getting their karma. Psalms 53:23. Right, let's get a quick deck. We can get a deck I haven't used in a while, let alone a quick deck. We'll go with this one. Yeah, 1111 Fade. This also speaks about some kind of gathering. You have some kind of gathering, some kind of meeting, some kind of situation where Divine is telling you to love yourself first, darling dears. You have blessings on your life. Why? Because you understood the assignment. The assignment was to know thyself by any means necessary, darling dears. Many of you are still walking on that silent path, darling dears, going within. This is about you using discernment in order to continue to go through the doors of opportunity that is being opened to you, darling dears. Keeping your circle tight and right. So they're thirsty. What are they thirsty for? What are they thirsty for? Information, darling dears. What did I say? And they're a page. This page looks thorough. Look at the eyes, mate. They up all. You daren't leave them alone in your domicile. They'll be searching, right? Yes, yes, yes. Page of Swords. This is someone who is what? Mentally immature, darling dears. They've got a personality disorder. They just want information on you. This would make them so happy. Because they want you in what? A headlock. They want you in a full Nelson and at their mercy again. And remember, their plans have plans. They've got secrets within secrets. And they spend all their time, what? Smoking dick. I just told you. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're coming in quick, darling dears. This is a situation which was a painful breakup for you. Why? Because self-realization was 100% there. I'm seeing the energy of Capricorn, Aquarius, as well as Pisces energy. Pisces, the 12th house of hidden enemies. Well, they ain't hidden anymore, right? Aquarius is the groups that you no longer frequent, right? And the Capricorn is why? Because you're bossing up, mate. You're moving forwards, ever backwards. Why do I say that? Look where his head is. Focused on the game, darling dear, so that you can say checkmate. Hello, motherfucker. They'll be very happy to gather any form of intel, but they want it from the big cat's mouth. They want you to be coming out there singing like a canary, begging for their attention, right? Worrying about where they are. Why haven't they text me back? Listen. Calm down. Calm. They need to go lay down. Their behaviors is so exhausting. And it's so yesteryear news. Clarify the Knight of Swords. Because you fully understood that in order to move forward and find your emotional alignment, your own happiness, right? You couldn't stay where you was. It was mentally affecting you, darling dears. They made you feel less than. Like you couldn't even think or fight your way out of a paper bag, darling dears. Yes, yes, yes. They had your mind in what? Headlock. Or should I say gridlock, darling dears. Mental prison that this narc created for you. And it all came from their what? Lack of self-esteem, darling dears. Clarify the Page of Swords. Yes, what did I say? They're coming in for the intel. Let's turn this back around. They're coming in for the intel. Told you. You single and independent, mind your own business, blood. You are what? The lotus flower that grew in the dirtiest of waters. Your roots were firm before you realized they were your roots. Why? Because they come with what? Confusion, darling dears. Airbender. Look at the eyes. Do you really think that's somebody friendly? And look how clear your eyes, your skin is cleared up. You're looking like a young girl or boy. See most all day, every day. Didn't tell anyone, bestie. But anyhow, like I was saying, this is what they want to do, darling dears. They want to come and gather information. They want to know, how did you bounce back? What's your boomerang? They want to know what your safe word is, darling dears. And it's not pineapples, in case they're wondering. I told you, it's so psychological password is what they want. When you've chosen to be the light, you've chosen to use your own self as your own mentor. You've chosen to what? Make those mountains of what? Transgressions into what? Page-like status in your mind. You've understood the assignment. In order to free yourself, you had to go within, face every one of these demons that they put on you, darling dears. And you are drama-free at this moment in time. When we see 2 9s in juxtaposed, darling dears, it speaks about the minor gains, because it is a minor. Because you're not there now. Base of the deck. Yep. They're under the karma, darling dears. Thigh-high red leather boots, getting it. Tower moment after tower moment. And they want this chance with you. Judgment card means what? A second chance. But the judgment card also is what? Ancestrally guided, divinely guided. It's giving you what? A new opportunity. This window, darling dears. You're not taking any chat. You don't want to talk to them. You see them for whom they truly are. Queen of Swords, right? In the reverse, in your case, darling dears. You've been through this thing. This is not bitterness, darling dears. This is you understanding everything. Queen of Swords come with wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience. You're not going to put your hand in that fire again. You're not going to take the poison and wait for this other person to die. You're going to live your life to the fullest, darling dears. Your boundaries is your welcome mat to whatever you want. You're obstreperous. Yeah, they'd be very happy to find out any information. The card says tell them nothing, right? Right next to the 8 of Pentacles, move in silence, yeah? Because you've already washed your face like David. This person will take your information and put it amongst many people that they don't even know you. People as thirsty as them, darling dears. Disappointed with their life. The life that's on the rocks of life, darling dears. Looking for a morsel to chew over about you. Your life. Your boundaries is hitting them differently because you're choosing you, right? Look, 7 of Cups. Making the right choices is giving you options. And the biggest option is to what? Live your life like this is the last day on earth. And if it was the last day on earth, would you really want to go back and speak to this thirsty person? This rock bottom person? This low self-esteem person? This person, if you've got progeny with them, who does not co-parent, and if they did, your child would be what? It'd probably be what? What? Barking at passing cars. Remember, our progeny, they choose us as the parent before they come here. They didn't choose you because you was what? Mother Teresa. They didn't choose you because you was serving the riches of Donald Trump. They chose you because you is the gangster cat. They chose you because they knew that in the final furlong, right, you would what? Do the comeback. like no other. Why? Hello, motherfuckers. That's why. You chose to break generational curses, darling dears. You chose to leave situations. Listen, you don't care who it is. You may have felt secure around them because you didn't know who you were. You knew what type of person and people they are. Close-minded. Listen, they move on a hive mind, darling dears. Close-minded, passive-aggressive. This is a crowd, darling dears. A whole what? Horde. They want to come back for what you've secured. You saw the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. This is the upright now, darling dears. Enlightenment. You found balance, darling dears. In some cases, it's a court judgment. You see the scales. Maybe you divorced them, darling dears. And you are doing way better than them. And they can't understand it. So they want to come back. They want to come back like the troll, trip-trapping, right? As you're trip-trapping over the bridge of infinite possibilities, they want to be the troll under your bridge. The scum between your toes. They want to find out information from you to what? Take you down, darling dears. Not for upliftment. This person is a page. You are the Nine of Pentacles, darling dears, who goes to the Queen and straight up to the Empress. They are jealous of you, darling dears. They are envious of you. Why? Because you're doing better than them. You might think, oh, shut up. What you focus on grows, darling dears. You can't tell me that I'm not rich. I'm surrounded by love on a daily basis. I'm surrounded by peace. And anything else, I can't tell you, blood. Why? Because Big Cat move in silence, bestie. Come on. Listen, I could blow the whistle on that. We ain't telling no one. I can't even tell you, bestie. Why? Because I'm telling you. The only person you need to talk to is God. World card ending the situation because of the confusion and lies. You're happy now. You've raised your vibration. This is overcoming heartbreak, betrayal, gossip, scandal, the whole kit and caboodle, darling dears. Five of Cups in the reverse means I'm not coming back, Jack. Not for all the tea in China. This is moving on, darling dears, realizing that you've got the Two of Cups. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't want to be around somebody who's on a field trip to find out about you. Somebody who's not coming through with no true information about them. Not that you care, because you've been working long and hard. You had to work hard to get away from the bad seed you sowed with that person or people. But you did the due diligence. You had to learn to be meticulous. You had to recheck and check to make sure that you were still on the right track. You had to get your health back, darling dears. Your health, which was your wealth. And you're not sharing your riches, whatever the riches mean to you, darling dears, with anyone. That had your psychological password. You're not taking no blue pill. They're not going to rock you back to sleep. This person is thirsty and unhealed. And you know this. Why? Because you're always within, darling dears. Because you had to learn mastery, self-mastery, darling dears. And because what? Law 10 of the 48 laws of power. You are avoiding the unlucky and unhappy. It's contagious, darling. It's contagious. Now they want to come and rock you back to... Look what's underneath that. Hello? Well, guess what? Hello, motherfucker. We got the hello to counter your hello. How about that? You had to come out of otherworthianship. Right? A fever. What did I say? They come with a plague, darling dears. I love these cards. I love these cards. Yeah. They come back to what? Pollute whatever you've done. We saw the Page of Swords behind the Nine of Pentacles. And they're still big mad. And tired, darling dears, run through, blown out, this hood-looking alfalfa with what? The effrontery and the balls, the proverbial balls of a bull. Listen, make sure that they leave your situation sad and empty-handed. It's not your problem. It's not your mess. It's got nothing to do with you what happened to them. And even though they've gone through things and they're still going through the tower, it's still got nothing to do with you. What that got to do with me? You've got enough on your plate, right? With what? Whatever it is, because they're jealous, right? They're an ear hustler, darling dears. They're an ear hustler. They only want intel to see what they can do. They will do you worse. Do you remember the DNS? I'm wondering if you've forgotten. Have you forgotten, bestie? I'm never going to forget that, darling dears. Never. Why? Because I still had to pay the bills, look after my progenies. They wanted 3 meals a day and they weren't sorry, darling dears. They weren't backing down. I still had to do the washing. I still had to carry on. But they didn't bank on the fact that you carrying on was part of the know thyself. You learned how to live without the skullduggeress who's up to what? Scuzzbucketness. You learned that you don't want someone who is in your circle, who is scuppering the circle. Public humiliation. They had bitches laughing at you in the street. And then lied to your face. I don't know that woman. I don't know that man. I don't know how comes you found them on my futum or in my punani. I don't know. They switched it around. Why are you spying on? What do you mean? They want you to feel off kilter, darling dears. But really and truly, they was always scared of your greatness, what you brought to the table. Remember, you're a criminal for your compassion. You're a criminal for unconditional love. You're a criminal for what? Building up, right? A hobosexual. And now they're scared? Look at this. Well, surprise, motherfucker. How about that? A cough, darling dears. They're gonna be stuttering. They're not gonna ask them if they're lucky enough to get you right. You've forgotten your darkest glass, but you understood the assignment of 3 go-to moves. If you don't know how to what defend yourself, go and watch my Don't Get Smoked video, where I teach you light kung fu and self-defense, darling dears. You ask them one direct question. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's how they be talking, mate. In their native language of Neanderthal. And they're mad and stressed out and looking for someone else to pick on. I ain't worried. I ain't worried. Don't be worried, darling dears. They're worried. They're scared. Because they don't know what to say to keep you stuck, darling dears. They don't know what to do to keep you stuck. They don't know what to do to bring you back. I can't make it up. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. It's not one finger, it's 2. This card is wrong. Love and light. Pride, darling dears. They wore it like armor. This is somebody that's got a hair trigger. And there's another thing about palmistry. You can, as I was saying, you can tell people by their hands. I think I spoke about it in the air sign read. Go and watch that, right? If somebody's got a bulbous end, you know, like where the skin is floating over, this person has got a kill switch on them, darling dears. And when they get mad, they lose it. Start looking at people's hands. It tells you so much. If somebody's got short fingers, darling dears, They like to control situations. This is somebody who can be bitter and spiteful, but it has to have a lot of other things. It's not just that, darling dears. But you can, at a quick glance, okay, right? Palm of the hand. If the headline, this one here, goes straight across, right? Just cuts across, this person is domineering and will wrestle you to the ground with what foolishness. I told you, when you come here to Don't Get Smoked Central, we will be doing it. We will be learning everything. Right? And as a bestie, darling dears, I have to run double back and run through it again. Because I can't be there to smack you across the face until blood and spittle flies. So I've got to keep bringing it up. Right? To make sure we are on the same page and we are finishing together. We are doing the race of the tortoise cat. It's not for the swift. They were swift, darling dears. They were swift. This is why they're worried. They should have said no to situations. But they didn't. They was out there like Free Willy. Bruck it down. Yeah. A cramp, darling dears. You was getting cramp. Your pH balance was off the Richter scale. And you didn't know what it was. You changed your soap. You even thought the water was the problem, darling dear. The same water you've been using for all of your flipping life was the problem. That's why they were thirsty, right? They was eating unknown substances. They messed with your pH balance. If that don't make your eyes slitty and your lips pursed, I don't know what will, bestie. They want to come back with the confusion. The smoke and mirrors, they're not going to tell you the truth. I told you. You better laugh. Well, if so sad, too bad. Laugh, darling. They'll be amused. They're amusing. They're a clown. They're a trick. And they're missing. No one called the police. They've got atikiphobia. They fear that you're better than them. They shouldn't need to fear it. They need to feel it in their car. They need to feel it in their ancestral team. They need to know this. Why? Because they said, you is a criminal for compassion, showing true love, building them up. God forbid. Don't cut off your hands, darling dears. You need your hands, right? But listen. Don't go back into the DNS. It's confusion. Snap out of it, bestie. This is just to fortify you. Should this ne'er-do-well, who's on the rocks of life, try to come through with their personality disorder to scupper your life, the new life you've created for yourself. We'll get one final card and then we're out. Gonna use the island world. This keeps falling down. Their security is not right, darling. Well, we see the unbalanced. We see it. I see it. You see it. We all see it. And every time I touch it, it jumps out. Listen, this person is tricky. But not to you, because you're the coach. Final message. Our mocha has been served cold, darling dears. Never forget, you are the butterfly, right? You've come out of your cocoon of sackcloth and ashes and fucking darling dears. This is transformation season for you. Our mocha has been sipped, served, and cheersed up. On that note, they want to chat. Don't talk to them. Listen, they're going to have me on my turrets. Don't know. On that note, I drops me mic. Well, it dropped off already, didn't it? It didn't. Even the mic is coming through with what? Shade, darling dear. Shade. So upload to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. Thank you for your continued support of me in this channel, your bookings, your donations, your likes, your subscribes, your shares. Share these messages with whomsoever you feel needs it. And don't forget to leave a comment, because your comment is a survival kit for another big cat coming through. And as I always say, don't get smoked. don't smoke yourself? What's this? What kind of music interrupting me? From the ashes, baby! Hey! Rock it with me, big cat. Remember, defend you, with your life, darling dears. Your reputation is everything. Leave these losers where they are. You dropped off what needed to be dropped off. They must watch you. They can think all they want, but they can't outthink the master that they try to outshine. Law number 1 of the 48 laws of power. Get great, bestie. Get great. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Big cat wave. Cat, cat. Cat, cat.